Jr.
All right, look at me.
No,
Don't look at me. So how long have you lived in East Bluff?
Oh, 30 some years. That's the best. I know it was with 30 plus, about 33, 34, 35, somewhere in that area. Once you get old, time starts to come together.
You were born here in Peoria area?
No, Mississippi.
Mississippi.
I came here December be 40 years ago.
Ooh.
December 11th.
Born in Mississippi?
Born and raised in Mississippi.
Well, that's a real fun place to be born in.
Good place. Good place to be from. Now, Mississippi has its pluses. It has its pluses. Also have a lot of minuses. Well, of course, that's it. Peoria has a lot of minuses too. So
Yeah.
it's what you make of it.
So let's see, 33, about 1990s or so?
All right.
Yeah, you started living in the East Bluff about 30 years ago. That's about 1990s.
No, but over 30, well over 30. I first moved to East Bluff itself. I've been here long. I've been here almost the whole time I've been here. Because I lived on 2 other places on East Bluff. So I actually been on East Bluff about 37, 38 years. I've been in my house I'm living in now for about 32, 33 years. I've been on East Bluff about 37, 38 years.
So what was it like that first years living in the East Bluff?
Oh man, the East Bluff, when I first moved up here, it was sweet. I mean, especially the house I'm in now, my neighborhood at that time, I mean, it was people out walking all the time, that late in the evening time, the sun go down, everybody sitting out on the porch, and I mean, nobody having to worry about anything now. You see nobody out there. I mean, it's to the point that everybody gets out, the doors locked, and knock on the door, people look through the windows, sprayed open the doors, you know, and it's gotten better in my area. It had gotten bad for a minute, but a lot of work and being called stitches, things like that, finally got some resemblance of order in my area. But yeah, we're doing real good in my block.
Yeah, there seems to be that neighborhood feeling is kind of gone away over the years. Because I can remember when I was younger, I'd go to my grandma's and we'd be out playing with the kids in the neighborhood and messing around.
Yeah.
I don't know, it just went away.
Right, and the thing that it's not so much I'm against any particular party, but when I first moved in my house, it was, I think at that time, out of about 20, 25 houses on that block, there was only 2 rentals. They were all homeowners. Now it's probably about 50-50, or close to it. And that's, as I say, most rentals are great people. I'm not anti-rental at all. But 90 to 95% of your problems in the neighborhood is caused by people that are renting. So my goal is to try to take as many of these rentals and turn them into homeowners as possible. That's the goal that I think. The best way I know to turn around an area is to make people appreciate that area and have some type of stake in the area. In other words, people say, have some skin in the game. If you own something in that area, you're going to want to take care of it. But if you in an area that you don't care about, it's not my, I've heard people say, it ain't none of my house, or I don't live here. I mean, I don't own this, I just live in it. You know, that type of attitude is not good for a neighborhood. So my thing is, let's try to take these vacant houses, take people that are cover their rentals, and give them a look. Okay, they may be a bad risk, that's fine, but give them an opportunity. Let them see what it's like, even if they're not successful. Let them see what it's like to own something. Now you understand when you start having to go back to rent again. Now you understand what this person going through. That does own that. So, and that's why I'm not getting much slack at. Everybody's looking for this credit worthiness, how dependable you are, and all that kind of stuff like that. We got to teach people. We got to let people learn and then work with them as far as getting it done right. And that's something we're not doing.
I heard somewhere that, I don't know if it's IRS or somebody, they're giving credit now for people that are renting as like somebody that owned a house. I don't know exactly how that entails, but they're giving renters, it's on the credit report, they're giving renters the same rating as if you were a homeowner.
It's good.
I go, that's nice.
Yeah, that's nice. I like that.
But have you ever had any dealings with some of the landlords out in the area?
Oh yeah. We got some scummy landlords. Very scummy. I mean, we got some decent landlords too. I mean, there's a couple of on my block that just make sure, even though the house has been vacant for several years, the property, is reasonably kept up. So, but yeah, we got a lot of slum landlords. They take this house and put a few dollars into it to get up worried enough to pass the codes, but they put somebody in there that don't care about it, and then All they get that money, get on Section 8, they don't care. They'll come fix them every once in a while, but as long as they get their money, they don't care. And then as soon as that person move out, they put a few more dollars into it, turn around, do the same thing. It's a revolving door. They don't strain the people. They don't care about the people. You make a complaint about the people that's in there, they don't care. So yeah, that's another thing. We need to crack down on those decrepit landlords with these decrepit buildings.
Yeah, just for your information, I one time put up, Peoria City had a thing for landlords, and they had all the landlords listed in the city.
Yeah.
Amazing amount. And some of the landlords owned a ton of property.
Yep.
And I'm going, wow, that's all too much.
Yeah, they got this thing now, those auctions they got these big old national companies that come around, buy up all these properties and just let them sit there half time. They're out of state landlord. I know a couple of houses. One of the things is owned by somebody living out in California. They don't even been to Peoria. They don't even know the house. I called them one time. Well, let's look. We had to look it up. And we got to get with this, bro. They don't even know what they're talking about. But that's part of the problem also. These out of state landlords, they don't care. They don't see it. They don't care about the neighborhood. They don't care about the city. They don't care about anything but the money coming in every month.
You're right. I know that. So is there a different atmosphere in the change that you've been over here in the East Bluff? Is it something changed with people, or were there more white people in East Bluff then and they've left, and what?
Yeah, there were more Caucasians at that time. Yeah, there was many more. On my block, at the time I moved on my block, there was one other African American, Kajak, whatever name you want to get to them, don't live in that block. That's about a half a dozen, 6, 8, 10 of us. And another thing we get a lot of in my neighborhood now, Hispanic, which is good. I mean, I like that. One thing, and now there's that competition between our race and their race, which shouldn't be. To me, it's stupid, but they do, and that's well. And I guess I stand because we both at the low echelon, and we're completing. You got the pie. They split up the pie. Now this is you got a quarter of this pie to set up all y'all that's needy. So now y'all got to fight over it, and let's keep this animosity going between us and the other minority races, or between the chocolate people, But yeah, the Caucasian was there. Then as we started moving in, I never forget the first day I moved in my house. I hadn't even moved in yet. When I was looking at it, there was a lady next door. She was the older Caucasian lady. She stood at that door the whole time I was there. When I started moving in, the next day there was a for sale sign in her yard. so then that's when, and as it is now, at this time, there's probably on about in my block it went from probably about 80 to 90% Caucasian. Now it's probably, let's see, 1, 2, there's only 2 Caucasian families on my block now.
Yeah.
There's only 2 or 3. I know there's only none more than 3. And the rest of them is chocolate people, Hispanic and us.
That matches up. I've got a video planned out. I haven't got it put together yet. I got a lot of stats on East Bluff. Mm-hmm. There's a ton available, but some of them are mainly 61603, which is not the East Bluff. It's the part of the East Bluff. Yeah. There's like 14,000 in 61603. There's only like 4,000 in the East Bluff. So the stats are a little crazy, but it is still a minority neighborhood. Mm-hmm. And I remember when Mayor Carter was in here, they did a thing downtown. They tore down all the older buildings on First Street, and, all that stuff, and took out a lot of people and put the Civic Center. Did you see a change with that process that went on for a couple of years?
That was going on when I came here. No. That was one of the things that happened because all the south side, all the tearing all the houses down and then turning it up. That was good and bad.
Where did those people go?
That's what I'm saying. Many of them were still living there because they waited for the people to come and buy them out. They living in those raggedy houses because they wouldn't put no money into them because the city's supposed to be buying them out. So they just tried to find a place to go. And at the time, the one had to move. They had to move on spur of the moment. And some of them got out early because the one living next door to me got out early. But others stayed around. They finally moved out, and now they just scattered everywhere. Now many of them went back to. Many of them bought houses Others kept the money when they started renting. So it's in a way it was good, in a way it's bad. And in some most progress, it's going to be good and bad about it. Because I think, if they had given people money to fix up these houses, it might have been a lot better than just tearing everything down. Because now a lot of that stuff is vacant down there now. So that's what they call progress. So I don't know. So every time they destroy things, so they fix it.
Somewhere, I don't know whether it was in the 2000s or not, but Peoria annexed a whole bunch of property out north side,
Yeah.
out in the
Yeah,
county.
north and northwest, yeah.
Yeah. Did that change anything in the neighborhood?
Not in our neighborhood, no, it didn't. I mean, I guess it would, it would have to say residual effect, because you had people that's moving, the one that's moving out, they moving out to, especially the ones that can afford to, they move out to the area out there, less crime and less, just less, a lot less of everything out there. So yeah, a lot of the people that are looking for a place to go, want to get away from everything, they move out there. So then, who's gonna fill those spots? So you're gonna move, maybe you got the rich area, then they move, then the middle age come, middle class move, then the middle class finally they move out, then you got the lower class moving, then your poor people start moving in, and then you got your ones that don't care. Automatically you're gonna have some that don't care. When anytime you bring that crowd like that in, you're gonna have, there's always gonna be the ones that don't care. So those are the ones you have to deal with. And you have to be able to find out early, which is not hard to do, to find out who don't care, who's concerned with the neighborhood. Because as being the representative, the agent for my neighborhood association, anytime a person moves into our association boundary, I go and talk to them about joining the neighborhood association. People don't join anymore. I mean, we got an area that's about 5 blocks wide, and about 8 blocks long. So hundreds of people in that, and we got about maybe 8 people that's our neighborhood association. Only about 4 of them shows up. That's just how disinterested and disengaged people are. And so that's the thing we have to face now. Is, people have so many. There's so much things to do. You got your computers and cell phones and all this other stuff out there that people doing. That people don't. They most stay at home watch. And when they out, they're on the phone. They doing something with the phone. You very seldom have a conversation with people anymore. 2 people sitting in a room together, instead of talking, they text. It's kind of crazy stuff like that. So, but yeah, it's a different world now. This computers and especially the cell phones, they have redirected everybody's attention now. If it's not on Google, it don't exist. And if Google says it, it's got to be true. I mean, that's what I'm saying. And because I did, my son was riding with me. We were going to visit relatives in Mississippi. So when I turned off the interstate, he got a cell phone. And I was born and raised. I been there 1,000 times. Dad, you going the wrong way. What do you mean I'm going the wrong way? The Google map says it's supposed to turn back here. I said, you better take that Google map, put some water in it. So then about 10 miles further down the road, he looked, oh, Google will come back with you. I said, Google.
You were right all along.
Yeah, so another young lady might have taken over to Decatur to pick up some of that shit all off the line. So I took her over there. But I go same way, get that shit. We'll turn here, huh? No, don't worry about it. I know I'm going. I'll be here many times. So we get back there, we get to the place. So I said, we're going back. I'm going to let you follow Google. Google took me all the way around, come back around. I said, now, which one would you think I should go? The way you said, Google said the way I came a while ago. Okay. That's,
how long ago was that?
That was just recent. That was about last year. Yeah, that was last year. Yeah,
So, from a majority white group in the neighborhood to a majority minority, when did you see the shift? Was it just constant type of thing, or just all at once? Or?
It was done slowly over a period of time. Like I say, it's been done now over, I would say, the last probably 25, 30 years. Because when it first switched over to majority rentals, then it went bad. I mean, that's when you had the GD vice law thing going. And my area was GD. So my son used to catch hell. He walked out the door, he didn't want to do hell. I wouldn't let him join no gang. So he had to fight just to go to the store. He called Kroger behind my house. He got jumped a couple of times just going to Kroger's because he didn't want to join. He didn't want to join the gang. I wouldn't let him join the gang. So then we got those out. We did a lot of stuff to get those out. Then we started model homeowners now. When Hispanic stars coming in, they started buying houses. They weren't renting. So that actually helped turn it around too. So all those rental houses they were renting at that time, the Hispanics moved in and bought those houses. Especially that one buyer was really bad, 14, I think it was, man. That house was shut. That was the 1 week that house was shot 3 times. So we finally got them out. And then Hispanic bought that house. They put a lot of money into it. So now, almost all the rental houses now on my block, with the exception of, I think it's about 4 or 5 of homeowners. Because there were used to be rentals. So now we're slowly switching my block back to homeowners. And so now that's why the crime is down. We very, very seldom, as far as my block, we don't have any crime. In fact, people come on to our block doing stuff, but people living on my block, there's nobody on my block right now. Well, there's possibly one. I'm in the process of investigating him now, but most people on my block right now are clean. You know, when I say clean, I don't mean just won't smoke weed out there in the street, loud music, stuff like that. But as far as breaking in houses and stuff like that, there's nobody on my block doing that right now.
Well, that kind of matches up with the stats I got. I got a real good police compilation of figures and stuff, and just to East Bluff. And there are spots that are really, really, really good, and there's only a couple of little spots that have some issues.
Yeah.
And I go, well, okay, that's better than a lot of people have.
Yeah, right now on the East Bluff, we got, let's see, in the Archer area, in that little 4-block area, in that area, like Arcadia, in that area. Then over on Republic, there's another area. And Indiana's another area. And down there in Nebraska, but those you got about 4 hot areas in East Bluff right now. And when I say hot, this is where, and it's usually not necessarily, it's not so much the people that live there, it's a lot of times the visitors that they have. That's why a lot of problems come in there. You know, you got the right wrong people visiting, and they go around clowning in the neighborhood, they get to drinking and get loud. At first they won't do it, start shooting over regular pistols, that's their thing. And many times they shoot, all these shots about, the majority of those shots about not shot at anybody. They just want to show off the gun. And they show the gun around, get the police around, so they're going, they're going. A lot of the shots about is somebody shooting. I've seen it before, right through the neighborhood, shooting out the window up in there. Yeah, I've seen that several times.
Yeah, you used to hear a lot of things going on June to July 4th.
Yeah. Summertime, a lot of stuff going on.
And fireworks are going on.
Yeah, you hear them all night, all day. Sometimes, and what's so bad about it, sometimes you can tell instantly the difference. Another time, it's like you can't tell doing the firework and shot spotted a lot of times. It's just like a gunshot, some of them do. And they got some of those things that are like bombs, man. I mean, they shake your whole windows when they go off. Where they get that power stuff? That make a good bomb.
How about the police? Have they changed anything since you came in? Or?
I don't know whether it's a lack of police or what, but we very, very, very seldom see a police on my block, in my street, on East Thrush. Unless there's a call, people, they don't patrol that area anymore. And this is one thing I've been trying to get them to understand. A patrol, this saturation thing they're doing, they saturate the area and drop a bunch of folks, that's not solving the problem. The best thing for it is constant patrolling. If somebody knows the police is going to be starting riding past there, they're going to be a little bit hesitant before they do anything, because first they're going to look around and say, police. But I cannot get the patrol. Every time you get there, well, we're short-handed. So maybe, and I'm not saying they're not, which I know they are short-handed, but I just can't understand why you can't patrol something. I can sit on my porch all day long and never see a police drive down my street. Never. And I've done it before, more than once. It goes days sometimes before I see a police ride down my street, especially now in my street. Well, the block next to me, cool. Now further down, near Knoxville, there's still some activity down there. So police will go down there, I see them look down, I see a police down there, but they usually come in off the other way. They don't come down, first coming down my street, they don't do it. And that's why I try to talk to the chief about that. Patrolling, constant patrolling. I mean, I don't mean every hour, but at least 2 or 3 times a day. Let the people know that the police got this area in their sight. That way we know it's going to help us keep it that way, rather than wait till it get bad, then police start showing up. Now we've got to try to get it that way. And the thing about it, you can't measure prevention. It's hard to measure. It's hard to measure prevention. You can measure, well, I was at this shooting, after the shooting I showed up. That's reactive. That's not preventing anything. My mother always said, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. But we can't get that prevention because people can't put that in a report. Well, we would go down to Thrush today, there was no activity because the police ride was patrolling Thrush today, so that means, it don't mean nothing. Because people say, well, how you going to do anything anyway? But we know that patrolling prevents crime. But that's, again, when what you know and what other people think, when they got the power, they think override your knowledge. And that's basically what it comes down to. The people that's in power have no idea what's going on out here in these streets.
They had, at one time, I thought they still had it, there's a policeman that lives in the neighborhood.
That's
gone?
Yeah, that's gone. It's been gone. Yeah.
Wow.
You don't have a neighborhood police officer anymore. I don't know if they plan on reinstating them. I know a lot of neighborhood officers are gone. I don't think they have one on South End anymore. To my knowledge, they may have. I know we don't have one on East Bluff anymore. And I think the one on South End is gone.
Well, the police chief's on my list to talk to, so we'll
Yeah.
get some stuff from him. I think he's a good guy. He seems to have some real nice plans and stuff. And, did you ever hear any kind of police brutality or stuff like that way back, or was it?
You mean before him or after him?
Well, way back when you first.
Oh, there's always been allegations against police around here. I don't know, like I say, I personally have had one bad experience with the police. Of course, that was early on when I came here. And it wasn't so much brutality as that I was put gun in my face and made to get down because I resemble the Cougars. Me and my brothers, I never forget, we ride around and they know lights on out and behind us. So we pull over, they come over with guns, shotgun, pistols, everything. I mean, yeah, get out. So we get out, get down on the ground. I said, man, what the hell going on? Get down. I said, I ain't getting on the ground. I got my hand on the car like this here. I said, now getting on the ground, for what? So, they got a driver license, got their license, looked around and they went back, car made from, they came back, threw the license on the car. Here, take your license and go. That was it. No explanation or nothing. I said, so I finally got that after I protested, they should have done it that way, it should have been done this way. But the reason why they did it because of the car matched the description, and there were two guys in it and all that kind of stuff like that. So, yeah, that kind of stuff. And right now, I don't know, I still hear things, but I haven't been involved on these saturated patrols that they're having. You know, they'll pull you over, they say you didn't signal. That, okay, we want to search your vehicle, otherwise we're going to give you a ticket. So if you let them search your vehicle, they find something, you go to jail. If they don't find nothing, then you fine. And that to me is coercive. I don't think they should use that. If you're going to give me a ticket, give me a ticket. It should be based on whether I let you search my car. Because if I ain't done anything wrong, you have to search my car just because I didn't signal a turn or something, you know.
They gotta have reasonable cause, and sometimes they define reasonable cause very.
We had a smell of alcohol. We could smell weed. Or we had a he bobbed. He made weed. I mean, they got all kind of reasons why they could say that we thought he had anything. And to me, okay, that's bad. But the worst thing about it to me is they're bragging about towing people's cars. You know, if that car is not used on a criminal activity, a serious criminal activity, that car shouldn't be towed. Because this is a person, okay, now you towed this person's car. How are they supposed to get to work? If they can't get to work, how are they supposed to support the family? How are they supposed to get the car? So towing a person's car should be a last resort. You know. But that's always put it. Oh, we towed 8 cars. We towed 10 cars. Usually it's a simple thing like no driver's license, which you shouldn't be driving with no driver's license. But I just don't think a person's car should be towed for no driver's license. You know, get the person a ticket. Tell them, okay, if you call again, they double the ticket, double the price. But I just towing a person's car just because you can. That to me that's counterproductive. That you're hurting, you're doing more harm than good. Yeah, you taking this person off the street, which should be driving, great. But now you're also putting a person on the street without a job. So what are you accomplishing? Which one is worse? You know, so and I understand how the police feels. And that's their job. But as a street person live out there in the street, then I have to look at it both ways. Which is more harm to take that person's car, tow it, probably end up confiscating it. Now this person can't work. To get this person a ticket, let them pay the ticket, and keep on working.
Do they charge them for storing the car?
Oh yeah, sure. Okay. I mean, right now the price of towing a car now is I don't know if it's $250, but I know it's way up there now. Plus, after a certain time, it goes up so many dollars per day. I think $5, $10 a day, or something like that. Yeah, you let your car sit down that day. I mean, the law the way it's written, and like I said, they go tweak it a little bit. And it needs to be tweaked, but it's still a good bill. Because first of all, And when you are locked up, and that's what I disagree with. You go make bail, they keep 10% of it. Now, if the charges are later drop, they still keep 10% of your money. Why? You haven't done anything. If the charges are dropped, you found not guilty, you should get all your money back. But they still keep 10%. You haven't done. I mean, that to me, that part, but that's not even in the bill. That should be put in the bill. It's for reforming that bail system. Because I've been arrested before since I've been in Peoria. They kept 10%. If it was a $100 bond, I got $90 of it back. But the charge was dropped. And that's, to me, I should have got all my money back. Well, no, that's not the law. So they should put that. I wish I would come where I can get the whole to. Matter of fact, I may text Jahan or email her about this when they go back to retweet this bill to put that in there. To me, that should definitely be in there. And yeah, and I agree with these little men, these petty anti-crimes. No, person should have to sit in jail because they can't come with $100 for $100 for a bond. If you're in that little small thing, especially if you got a job, you should have to stay in jail because you got to wait. You ain't got your paycheck yet, so you can't get out of jail because you ain't got a paycheck. Well, no, that shouldn't be. So yeah, those little petty anti-crimes like that. There's no sense whatsoever because bail is supposed to be for the purpose of showing up in court. $100 ain't gonna make somebody show up in court. If you ain't gonna show up in court, $100 ain't gonna make you show up. So why charge $100? The $100 bill is just there to make money for the state. That's all. It's some money making proposition. So yeah, that definitely that no bill thing definitely need to be tweaked. But I understand also people concerned because just like the guy here, Jim. He behind me. She's an elderly lady. She woke up one morning, 2:30 in the morning. There were two guys in her house. That person don't necessarily have to go to jail. So that to me, anytime you intimidating or threatening an elderly person, that should be a no bail sign. Because now if that person gets out, that person, especially they have no kind of incentive to keep them from going back and trying to antagonize, make this person change their mind, then that person is at their mercy. So that part there, I think there's some crimes need to put on there that's not considered violent crimes, but should still be put on that list as make sure it's a sufficient bail to make sure, not just to make sure that person shows up in court, but to make sure that person don't go back to try to intimidate that elderly person, because that's easily done. Matter of fact, we're talking about this another thing I'm about to say. My biggest goal, my biggest pet peeve is the very young, the very old, and the disabled. Those are the people that I think needs our help. And one of the things that I'm known for in my area, which is not good, but everybody is always mad at me about it, is people parking in the driveway blocking the sidewalk. And children going to school, they got to walk out in the street. They got elderly people don't come out anymore. I had a guy in a wheelchair come and hit me out of my garden. He lived on the street next over. He come all the way back down the street, come all the way around, get up 2 houses from my garden. There was a car blocking the sidewalk. He had to turn and go all the way back around, come all the way back around from the other side. There was power wheelchair because cars speed up and down those streets like crazy. 65, 75 hours ain't nothing. So he don't want to get out of the street in that wheelchair, which I don't blame him. So he had to go around, stay on the sidewalk. So when I see that, I call the police. Hey, tell them make this person move, call for the sidewalk. I do that practically every day. Well, not now. I used to, but people finally learning now. They don't do it. So stop people. You want to complain about the kids walking in the street, but you never say anything about the adults parking the cars, blocking the sidewalk, forcing them to walk in the street. To me, that is ridiculous. Then you talk to the police officer. I had a police officer tell me, I'm not going to do it because it's petty. He said it right in front of a complaint. We had to meet with the police chief. He said right in front of the police, not the police chief we have now, but he said in front of the police chief we had at that time. It's petty. I'm not going to do it. But yeah, you the same one that was involved in that manual thing when those kids walking, you got those tickets out there. The same one who's giving those kids tickets walking the street. But you won't tell the adult not to walk the street. That. And I call in. I have dispatchers to tell me they won't do it. When something out, we busy. We ain't got time for something like that. They want this. And that's the thing. The dispatchers and the police department should come under the same heading. They're not. So when you complain about dispatchers to the police, he'll say, well, that's not my prerogative. I ain't nothing I can do about that because that's run by this person over here. So I go, this person here, well, they say they did that, but the police didn't do this. So right now, they're 30-point fingers at each other, so nothing is getting done. You call dispatch. I've been called many times by dispatchers that they ain't got time. There was when we were trying to clean up my area, there was a house I mean, they were loud. I mean, I don't allow breaking glass in the streets, stuff like that. That's when I tried to talk to the guy. Didn't want to listen, but they was drunk, so I asked the police, I called a police, I said, look here. I said, we got a party over here, it's getting kind of loud, so nobody's fighting right now. I said, but we need another police officer just ride, he ain't got to say nothing, just ride down in front of his house, slow down and look, just keep on going. All you got, that's a lot of times, hey man, police watching, they'll cool it down. This dispatch said, are they fighting yet? I said, no, not yet. He said, well, they started fighting and called us back, hung up the phone on me. You know, so I go complain about that. The guy was over to the dispatch at the time. He went back, checked the tape. Yeah, they should have done it that way. They should have done it that way. I've had many problems with my dispatch. You know, I called him once, I was hit and run on my car. So I followed the guy, called dispatch. Where you at now? So he said, I told him where he was. So I'm got 2 cars behind him. Well, you need to pull over to the side. I said, for what? I'm trying to follow the guy. Then tell him where he going. Well, no, we don't want you doing that. We just tell him where we have police come out to take your report. I said, no, man. I said, I'm going to follow him. I'm going to let y'all know where we is all the time. Well, until you tell me you pull over, I'm not sending no police officer. So that's what I just said. So yeah, dispatchers make doing a lot of stuff, and the police are getting, but the police never showed up. Many times the police didn't even get to work. So that's why I said, that's why they need to get those two organizations under the same roof. So when you complain about one, you complain about the other. But that's not done either. So I don't know. It's hell get they done when you're not in the power.
It would seem to be an easy thing. They could just get the license number and put a ticket on the car, and they're going to have to pay.
Yeah, it's amazing.
In fact, if the guy's out there, you know, taking a picture of the car, writing down the license plate number, and you know, writing out a ticket and putting it on the windshield, maybe during that process, the guy would come out and move the car.
Yeah. Yeah, so, I do that because I got little thing I type up says please do not block driveway. I got a big capital letters, not big, a big font letter, and I put on people's windshield and do something when I see them like that. And I've had many threats.
So that's how you got the top title mayor of East Bluff.
Well, some people call me mayor of East Bluff, others call me the snitch of East Bluff. I got all kind of titles on this thing. So, yeah, but yeah, I've had people come to my house many times. Man, don't you send no damn police to my house no more. That's what they quit blocking the sidewalk.
Well, you got anything else you maybe forgot or do?
No, just working with, we got the new neighborhood enhancement coordinator for the police department, and we got another lady for the police department working with the kids and all the organizations. We're getting all the information when the kids out here you tell us, hey, go here, go here, go here. So I'm trying to meet with them. I'll meet with them probably next week, both of them next week, so we can go through some stuff what they're trying to do. So I want to make sure what it is they're doing that it's not going to get left off East Bluff, you know, because East Bluff is usually not on anybody's radar. In the East Bluff and the North Valley are two places you never hardly hear about. And the South Side is dilapidated, but at least the South Side gets a lot of attention. East Bluff gets none. I mean, when something is going on, like when they come run for mayor, when they run for large city council, nobody campaigns in East Bluff anymore. Very, very seldom you hear a campaign rally in East Bluff. You know, just like East Bluff is a forgotten, I don't know what it is, whether it's forgotten, I just don't care. I guess one of the things, we don't get a lot of people vote up here. That's another thing. You know, you're looking at, because when I was election judge, I think you got like 10% of the vote. 10% of people vote. So that's one of the things you're going, if you're voting at a large voting block, people are going to look, people are going to listen because they want that vote. But if you ain't going to no vote, actually I care, they ain't going to vote no way. And that's why East Bluff don't get a lot of attention. I mean, Reagan-Bach is doing something now, you know, as far as the Wisconsin and the Nebraska corridor, but the side streets, deplorable. Sidewalks, if you got sidewalks at all, they're in bad shape. Houses sitting there vacant, nobody's doing anything about them. Lighting is terrible on the side street. Like I said, everybody worried about the main street, but nobody cares anything about the side street. That's where people live, on the side streets, and they get no kind of resources whatsoever. I don't know when the last time we had anything done in the neighborhoods of East Bluff.
Nebraska.
Yep, that was Nebraska and Wisconsin. Yeah, those two main streets.
Yeah,
Prospect and Knoxville. Those are older streets get work done. Nebraska, Wisconsin, Prospect, and Knoxville.
I was surprised it didn't, that one stretch of Nebraska, I go, wow,
Yeah.
this is cool.
And I asked me about why do you take Nebraska all the way out to Prospect? And that's because of St. Francis. This is all Nebraska all done because of St. Francis moved in the building at the old what's the Cup Food building. If they had that one in Wisconsin, would have been done. Nebraska wouldn't have been done. So now they're trying to bring the area to Wisconsin. They want people to come out there up into the heart of East Bluff. Right? They're trying to get business started on the East Bluff corridor, Wisconsin, Nebraska corridor, that area. Now they want people to come up in there. That's why they got Nebraska to there. But like I said, take Nebraska all the way out to Prospect. Because that way a person that lives, who wants to go across McCluggish Bridge, they was going all the way up Knoxville, was build business at the best intersection up there at Ward Drive. Then you take Knoxville over to Prospect. You ain't on the business street you got in it's straight out. But I don't know, maybe one day they'll get around to doing it. Right now they're supposed to do Wisconsin now, so that'd be one good thing. But yeah, we need help in the side street. That's where the people live. We need help on those side streets. So that's the next thing we'll be pushing for resources as well as more of a police presence.
Most of the sidewalks are clear.
Most of the sidewalks depends on the area. Now in my area, like I said, the first 2 or 3 blocks around me is great because when they did the school, they did over there. But further down, there's no sidewalk at all. It's broken up real bad, especially around the 300 block of Thrush. And that's mostly all your side streets basically like that. Some of them don't have sidewalks at all. Matter of fact, the house is a little gift. There's no sidewalks. There's maybe a house sidewalk this far, there's no sidewalk, they pick up again down here, that kind of stuff like that. Those will happen in the inner area. Now, yeah, they're fixing up those majors, like they're gonna fix up the sidewalks, widen the sidewalks on Wisconsin, widen the sidewalks on they did in Nebraska. So, but we need people on the inner circles of the East Bluff need to be looked after, and they're not getting that attention. And nobody said it. Like I say, I've only seen since the last election. I've seen one at-large councilman up here on East Bluff. And I don't mean when they're having some kind of big publicity thing. I'm talking just up here when behind the scene, without any publicity, without any camera, came in and met with people in East Bluff. I've only known one to do that since the last election. And that was our Ruckriger. I haven't seen Kelly, I haven't seen Orla, I haven't seen Vaspula, I haven't seen Jensen, whoever the other. I haven't seen any of them other than Ruckriger up here on this East Bluff since the last election. Just talking to people and not when there's no cameras around. So that is something that I'm hoping for this next at-large race come up next. I think come next year for that large council. Sure. And one of the things I'm going to do is I want to go to some of those forums and ask them, hey, why aren't you campaigning in East Bluff? I mean, if you don't campaign in East Bluff, why do we think you're going to represent us when you get here? If you don't come here to get elected, we know you're going to come here once you get elected, and that's true. That's what's been happening. So that's going to be an issue for the next at-large council people. You know, what are you going to do about the underserved areas, the areas that don't have the large voting turnout, areas that don't have the large money, the low echelon areas? What can we hold you accountable if you say you're going to do this and you ain't going to do it? So that's one of the things I want to call attention to these. But we need to do more to call attention to the East Bluff. You know, it's like, you know, they got several people on the South End that's speaking out, and they still need more. Don't get me wrong. The South End is still the same category of East Bluff that we are. And I'm not knocking them, for we're the same boat. Matter of fact, I work with several people on the South End trying to get things done, but we don't have an advocate for the East Bluff. So and that's because the councilman there is basically the south side is basically most of the territory, where the East Bluff is not most of the territory for our council person. You know, he got the East Bluff, he got under the hill down, he got further out north. So, like I say, it's only about 4,000 people in East Bluff. He got a 10,000 person district. So that's and we just say we just don't get the attention in the inner workings of East Bluff. We don't get the attention that we should have, and that's one thing I want to change. I want to definitely do some things that can change, not only the negative, but the positive that's going on in East Bluff. That's why I like this TV show like this. Here could be a good thing if I get more people, maybe, you know, to take pictures of things, send it into, show how to send it. We got to learn how to send the interview where they take pictures of video or something like that. So we can call attention to these. But yeah, that's one of the things I'm going to try to do when I live. I'll ask you so many questions about how to get this done, because now I want to go out and see, especially young people. You know, you see things out there. Hey, you film it anyway. They put it on Facebook anyway. You know, put it on East Bluff TV. maybe we can work together, to bring the East Bluff out. So yeah, the more resources we have up here, that's what, here at the center, they're doing a very good job. Carrie doing a much better job than I thought she would be. She's doing a real good job. When she first came here, otherwise she come from out of town, don't know anything about it, but the thing I like about her, she's receptive to listening. She does listen. And that's